Okay, so we have John Macpherson, singer-songwriter from Ontario, Canada, here with us today. Thank you so much for being willing to talk with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem, of course. So let's go ahead and get started. So, for those who are just being introduced to you, how would you describe yourself and your music?
I'd say like it draws from a wide variety of influences, but I think it's something that, it's very just like human and real and something people can relate to. I mean, I'm not like talking about the club or like throwing my hands in the air, because you know what I mean? Like life isn't like that. I think, I know what I want to hear in music, and I think some people, you want to latch on to those things that are kind of real and kind of human that you can understand.
Yeah, life is definitely not like that all the time. Maybe sometimes, but
Well,
not all the
sometimes.
time. So, what do you think makes your music different from music that's already out there?
Well, I mean, I think anything that's, from my perspective, like everybody, I think if you write your own songs and you sing them, they're going to be different because it's just like your way of seeing the world. You see a situation in a different way than another songwriter would see it, and it's just like your lens that you kind of look through
So,
on
like your
life.
own unique view.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So, when did you discover you had a talent for singing and songwriting, and how long have you been doing so?
Well, actually, I was around 10 years old, and I was always, it's kind of embarrassing, but I was always like inspired by boy bands at a young age. Like, I just wanted to be up on stage, wanted to like, I loved microphones. Like, I actually liked the technology more. Like, I wanted to just like sing in a microphone.
hmm
But I started off, I was actually like kind of rough. Like, I mumbled, I couldn't really sing. I wasn't one of those kids who was like, amazing at 10, but I just kind of worked at it and got a guitar and tried to write my songs ever since I could play a few chords, and that's been about it.
Cool. I actually, yeah, I'm really interested in the technology too behind the whole music production type
Yeah.
stuff as well. So, do you remember the first song you ever sang or the first song you ever wrote?
I think the first song I ever sang that I can remember like publicly was like Time of Your Life by Green Day.
Oh, nice.
Is that like
Cool.
a graduation? I was like 12 years old.
Were you nervous?
Elementary. Uh, I don't know. Back then, I was probably just so excited that they let me up on stage. I was like, yeah. When you're young, you don't really have those like self-conscious things as much. It's funny.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
So, who are your musical influences?
Like modern day, I'm really into like good singer-songwriters, like Ed Sheeran. I know he's a big one I've been listening to lately for contemporary. He's really good. There's always the classics like Bob Dylan and The Doors were always my favorite band, and then like guys like John Mayer for more current. So I mean, I kind of like a mix of everything, just whatever's good writing, and even dance music. Like I don't mind like Dead Mouse stuff like that, like
hmm
underground dubstep stuff, like some stuff. I'm just pretty much open to anything as long as it's good.
hmm
It kind of
Yeah,
interests me.
same. I could listen to Ed Sheeran and John Mayer like all day, every day.
Yeah.
So,
It's good. Like there's good stuff coming out lately too. So
yeah, totally. So, since you're so young, are you currently pursuing music full time or are you also in school? Because you're 19, right?
yeah. Well, right now
Yeah.
I've just been working and then kind of like recording and doing stuff. But I'm looking into a few things like school and other things I can kind of keeping my options open to a few paths, but still including music and everything.
Cool. Cool. So, what projects are you currently working on? I know you've already put out a few singles, but do you have any plans to release an EP or a debut album soon?
Yeah, right now I'm started on an EP and it's kind of exciting. I like the songs I've written for it. I know I
Yes.
played you a few for it, exclusive, first time to hear it. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, kind of a bit of just finding myself in my direction. It's really like acoustic based and like just really raw and real, just to hear my voice and like hear my songwriting and just kind of show people with not too much flash, just, real up close and personal kind of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So have you had the chance to perform live in Ontario yet?
Yeah, definitely. Like I've done quite a few. Like when I was younger, just random coffee shops and events, and just like getting up at shows, and then like, putting on shows, opening for people, playing small festivals, things like that, or like even musical theater, just any way to kind of get up on stage. So I've had a bit of experience with that.
Yeah. So what's your favorite part about performing for a live audience?
I just like the unexpected nature. Like anything can happen, like people can yell something out, like people make requests, you just come up with things on the fly, and that's
Mm-hmm.
really fun. Like instead of, just freezing up, it's really fun to just like roll with it and like see where it goes.
So you like the spontaneity of all of it?
Yeah, just like you never know what's gonna happen. Like the sound could cut out, something could happen. Just rolling with it and just having that like energy with people and that feedback.
Yeah, that's
It's
a lot
pretty
better
cool.
than me because I am totally not good with things that like don't work as planned. So, but I
Yeah,
mean, I guess that's part of being a performer, you know?
yeah.
So, if you could perform anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I'd say probably like first of all, probably Toronto at the Sky Dome because it's kind of like close to my hometown. It's
Hmm.
like the Canadian big city in Canada, so that'd be
Hmm.
cool just to play like the Sky Dome like sold out show. That'd be awesome.
Okay, so you'd want to play at the Sky Dome. Now, if you could open for anybody in the world, just one act, who would it be?
Oh, that's such a tough question.
I know.
Like I think probably like a Taylor Swift tour. That'd be cool because
Yeah,
she's cute and like she has a good audience there. That'd be awesome.
that's true. That's true. I think if you opened for her, you'd probably get like instant fans.
I don't know. I think that'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So, who do you want your music to reach ultimately?
Um, I think like I've always said this, just like I just want it to reach like whoever needs it and whoever can use it. Like it doesn't matter how big or small your following is. Like if you write something that can reach somebody and they say like, you wrote my story or like your song is the exact experience I went through. Like I just think that's the cool part. Even if it reaches one person, like that just makes me happy to have
Yeah.
that. Like, maybe you don't know why you wrote a certain song and the reason behind it, but maybe the reason was, to reach them, and that's kind of a cool thing when you can write your own story, but also write other people's stories in a way they may have not been able to express.
Right. So you like really want your music to like connect with people on like a deep life level.
Yeah, I mean, like, I
Yeah.
think I have some stuff too, I want to be kind of like fun and carefree and like, not take too seriously. But yeah, it's always kind of cool if you can soundtrack a moment.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
I've always found like music so much better in context. You hear a song and it's on the radio. You might not like it at first, but then it plays at like a certain moment, and you're like, oh, I get it now. Like it just fits.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yes,
like
I
fits your
totally
fits
understand what you
your
mean.
life fits your life in a way. So that's what I'd like to do. That'd be kind of cool if I could do
Yeah.
that for people. You know.
That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. So, if you could just choose one person, who's the one person you would love to hear your music? And it can be a famous person, but it doesn't have to be.
Um, I just say honestly, like somebody going through a hard time. That's the best thing. Like I said, like people who need it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It'd be pretty cool, like Neil Young or Bob Dylan or some of those guys, like
Mhm.
Elliott Smith, singer-songwriters like that.
Mhm.
Jeff Buckley, I really love him. Like just people like that. It would be kind of cool to write with them or like to have them hear it. But
Yeah. Okay.
just like
Cool.
my idols, pretty much. But
Yeah.
everyday people too. I mean, that would mean the same to me.
Right. So basically, just anybody. Sounds like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Which totally
broad
makes sense.
answer.
I mean, it totally makes sense, right? Because that's the
Yeah.
point of music to reach everybody and anybody. So, is there anything else you would like to tell the audience about yourself?
I just like to say I'm a Virgo, currently single, vegetarian
Okay.
for a little while now. I don't know. Check out youtube.com/JohnMacMusic. see some videos and see some stuff. I don't know. I'm a quiet kind of guy, I guess. I use music to like say intricate things or what's on my mind, but I'm just pretty quiet and easygoing, I guess.
How long have you been a vegetarian?
About a year now.
Wow.
I think I might have cheated a few times along the way, but
cheated with
I've
like chicken or like fish?
A little bit of fish, a little bit of chicken. I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
But I've been trying to like, I'm kind of into that, trying to be as health conscious as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. I used to live in San Francisco, and they're very much about healthy living out there as well.
Oh,
so
really? Yeah.
Totally got you. All right. Well, it's been awesome talking to you. Thanks so much for being willing again to spend just a little bit of time talking to me about yourself and your story. No problem. Cool. And for everyone that's watching again, keep coming back to Accompany Kike for more music that I love. Thanks. Bye.
See ya.